so this stuff comes in a kit. You can buy just the washers and the springs, and they're like $1 or $1.50, and you might just need that, but it's a good idea to get the kit, which comes with like the ball and the nylon thing and the O-rings and the little wrench. So you might want to get the kit. That might be like $7-8. Also, a good idea is to get a new aerator for the sink while you're at it. And this is like where the water comes out. It makes it nice and straight. This is the diverter, and that's what controls from the pull-out sprayer to the faucet. Because really, if this is working right, when you hit the pull-out sprayer, the water from the faucet should almost completely stop. And when you let go, the sprayer should completely stop and all the water should come out of the faucet. So if you're like getting half and half and stuff, diverter, it's very easy to do as long as we're doing the rest of this stuff. So this is for the tub, because you'll find these single-handle Deltas in everything from showers to tubs to bathroom sinks to kitchen faucets, all kind of faucets. The tubs and the showers have this kind of stem on them, where the sinks and the kitchen and the bathroom sinks have this kind of stem. So there's a difference, and they also take a different insert. The ball one takes this triangle shape insert, where the like that, where the tub one gets this straight one, but actually this little piece of rubber that also comes in the kit goes in there. So on either one. So all right, so let's show you exactly how it's done, but that's basically the pieces, okay? All right, boys and girls, my YouTube channel subscribers and others who have just stumbled in, but as long as you're here in the handyman zone, hit the sub button, okay? And don't forget to rate the video, you know, thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever you feel if it helped or not. And leave a comment if you're here, because as long as you're here and you got a question, it might help someone in the future with their problem. So feel free to use the comment box. People do read the comments. We're going to do a single handle Delta faucet today. See the single handle? Okay, you'll find these in kitchens, bathrooms, tubs, showers. Delta, single handle Delta. This one happens to have a pull-out sprayer. Okay, pull-out sprayer. And we'll be replacing the diverter valve too. Should take like 10-15 minutes. I'll show you exactly how to do everything. Very easy job. Just follow along. Tools we'll be using today. Okay, we got channel lock pliers and a monkey wrench, but the kind with the smooth jaw, without the teeth. Although you may not need this, but you would need something. So we'll get to that in a second. I'll show you what I mean. This is an O-ring pick. It's used for getting the O-rings out. You don't necessarily need an O-ring pick. You could use a small screwdriver. You're going to need some Allen keys. This is a tool they make just to get the Delta washers out. You don't need this. You could use a small screwdriver or a pencil. I'll show you exactly how to do it, and I will actually do it with and without this special tool, but this was like $3. Delta seat removal tool. It's available. Just Google search it. And maybe some silicone grease. You don't need it, but you know, you could use it. So let's show you how to do it. Here's the faucet. Okay, so this would be addressing any kind of leak or drip coming out of here, any kind of water coming around the base of this thing. If when you hit the pull-out sprayer, if all the water or most of the water doesn't stop when you hit the pull-out sprayer, that's the diverter. We'll be addressing that today too. So this is the faucet, but you'll also find these in bathrooms with a round plastic knob. You'll find them in tubs with different knobs and plastic and metal, and showers and stuff. Delta basically uses the same parts in all of their faucets from like 1960 to today. So you're going to find this in a million different faucets. The first thing we did is we went under the sink and we shut the shutoff valves. There's two of them, hot and cold. We shut them all the way off. If you find that you shut the shutoff valves and the water is still dripping out, it's going to be hard to do this job with even the slightest little drip coming. So you go downstairs and you shut the water main where it comes in the house. Or if you can't, if it's still dripping just a little bit after the water main and stuff, you could open a faucet in another room, and hopefully a lower room in a lower floor, and that will let the water go out of that faucet instead of coming out of this one. Because even if there's the slightest drip, when it comes to putting these new rubber seats in, it's going to mess you up. So that's just a little tip. So you could open another faucet in another room. Let's start off. We take our Allen key. And remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty, so we're going to be turning this counterclockwise. That's the one bolt that holds the handle on. Okay, sometimes it's a little tight because it's been corroded for years, so you might have to do it like back and forth a little bit. Actually tighten and then loosen. But you just got to do it. Oh, another good, here's a pro tip for you. You're going to want to put like a rag over the drain so you don't drop anything down the drain. That's a good pro tip for you. Now see my video. I'll leave an annotation link for it. Click on it. I have a video on how to make the best work rags in the world out of old t-shirts. So check out that video. Okay, so we loosen this up and this comes straight off. Okay, comes straight off. Now here's that actual ball that I was telling you about before. Okay. And it's under this metal cap. Sometimes you could just come in here and just unscrew this by hand, which this one did. If it didn't, you could use the monkey wrench with the flat, with the smooth jaw, because this is chrome. We don't want to scratch it, so you wouldn't want to use a monkey wrench with teeth. But there's a hex right up on the top here, and you could put this on there and loosen it that way. If you didn't have one of these, you could use a channel lock and you could get in here and carefully as not to scratch it. But remember, when the handle is on, it kind of covers that top hex. So you don't like really got to worry about scratches. But I charge money to do this work, so I got to make it look good, you know? All right, so anyway, this comes off, okay? Now, as I'm putting this stuff back together, I'm going to clean all of this because these are places where you never get to clean. So dirt tends to get like under the handle and around here and stuff. So I'll be cleaning this stuff up with a little Brillo. The next thing, you're going to pull this straight up. And what happens is that ball and the top rubber seal and the insert comes out all in one shot, okay? We're just going to set that aside. The next thing, if you look in there, you're actually going to see the rubber seats. Wait for that autofocus to catch up. The rubber seats are going to be in there. There's going to be two, one for the hot, one for cold. And there's going to be two springs that are going to be under the rubber seats. It's going to kind of be like that, okay? And they're in there, and I'm going to get you a shot of it. That's looking straight down the barrel at the two Delta seats, the left and the right. It's the hot and the cold, and the springs are underneath the black rubber. So we're going to get those. I sometimes use the Allen key. I just kind of stick it. And let me show you exactly what I do because it's down in the barrel there. But I'll just stick it in there and just kind of flick them up. You don't want to use like a bladed screwdriver in there because it's brass in there. Easily scratched and could easily like damage in there. But you want to get these out. So look, I just got that one out. All right, there it is. And I just kind of went in there and just kind of... okay, and just kind of scraped it up, all right? So that's how you get those out with that. If we were using that special tool, the Delta seat removal tool, you just kind of stick it in there and then it just comes out. If you pull it, all right, so there it is. So that's how they come out. Now what we're gonna do is just kind of wiggle this as we're pulling up, okay? And this whole faucet comes off, all right? And this is where our diverter is and those two O-rings that cause the leak to come out here when you're using it. And again, a lot of dirt gets under here, so as I'm putting it back together, I'm going to clean this up. We're going to take these O-rings out, and I always start with the bottom O-ring first. I'm using the O-ring removal tool on this bottom one, but I will use just a regular screwdriver on the top one. And again, you want to be careful not to scratch because this is a brass barrel here and a scratch is easy. So we just want to make sure we don't scratch it. And sometimes the O-rings, I just kind of try to push them and kind of hook them, and then we'll get the O-ring off. Just kind of working around like that. All right, one O-ring, and then there's a second O-ring, and I'm going to use a small screwdriver to get this one off just to show you guys in case you don't have an O-ring removal tool. Again, I'll just kind of push it, okay, and then I'll just kind of get in there and get that O-ring off. Now we have the diverter here, and I kind of get the diverters out just by going like that. All right, so there's our diverter. Set that aside. Now this guy is basically ready to start reassembling this, so I'm just going to kind of clean everything up, okay? And the first thing I'm going to do is put our two O-rings in. Now usually the kits will come with 4 O-rings. 2 of them you're going to use, the other 2 you're going to throw out. So you're going to match up the old O-rings to the new O-rings, and we see it's actually this one. These ones are too skinny. So it's actually these O-rings, and as I'm putting them on, I will either use the Allen key to help me to just stretch it out a little bit, and we want to get it back in that groove. So there's that one, and then the next one, of course, will go right over that groove down to the bottom one, okay? So there's our O-rings are in, all right? Now usually at this point, I'll just dry this up a little bit, and I also like to clean up down in this corner here, because once that faucet barrel's back on, it's it's really hard to clean this up, but it can tend to get pretty disgusting and dirty there. It's all like water scale and buildup and stuff. So I just kind of like to clean as long as we got the handle off. Okay? Alright, that looks a little better. So, alright, so now we're going to put the new diverter right in there. This is silicone grease, and I like to put just a little bit on this part of the diverter. Okay, and then this just goes straight in, and you just kind of push. And there's actually an O-ring here too on the diverter, so get a little silicone on that. Alright, and we just kind of push this middle part in, and then the outside part. Now the thing about the diverter is it's got to be in enough that that the barrel fits back over when we're done. So you just kind of line it up. And kind of, you could check it. Okay. Now I want to get these two O-rings here with a little silicone. So I just put it on my finger and just kind of rub it around there. And then we get that top O-ring. Seats, the new seats. So I put the seat, and then I put the washer. So the skinny end of the washer, because it's kind of tapered, the skinny end goes up under the cup of the seat. Then I'm going to take this and I'm going to stick it in the hole. Okay, so that way that seat can just slip down and it's already kind of lined up, and then I just push it in with my finger and it's in. But that's where, if there's a little water dripping, when you go to push it with your finger, the pressure builds up and pops it back out. So that's why I'm saying the water's got to be totally off when you're doing this. And if it just happens to be dripping a little bit, you're going to have to open another faucet in a different room. And again, here's the new cup, and the skinny end of the spring goes up under the cup. Alright, and then I put it over there. Now, if you were using the Delta seat removal tool, the black rubber goes on first, and then the skinny end of the spring goes on, and then you just stick it in the hole, and once it's in there, you pull up on these red wings, and it leaves it in there. But most of you people aren't going to have that removal tool, so again, I'm going to do it with this. So the cup and this thin end goes in a cup, and then I stick this down in the hole, and then I just let gravity bring it down, and then I just kind of push it in there with my finger. In, okay? And I'm going to get a picture of that and show you guys. So we got our new seats in, and the springs, and we got the diverter, we got the O-rings. Next thing we're going to do is start reassembling this guy. Now, again, I like to clean like inside this groove here, because again, once it's together, this stuff is hard to clean. So as long as I got it off, I'm going to take like a scouring sponge, and I'm going to clean. Now, as long as I got it off too, we're going to want to take this aerator off. Because once you do those shut-off valves under the sink, because they're hardly ever used, when you turn them back on, there's going to be a lot of debris and junk that comes back up the pipe, and it's going to clog up this fine screen in the aerator. So if we didn't already take the aerator off, at this point we want to take the aerator off and set it aside. We'll be putting it back on as soon as we run the water for like a half a minute and we clear out the line. We'll put the aerator back on. So again, cleaning this stuff up. Okay, it just takes a second. If everything's apart, it cleans up nice and easy. And then I'm going to dry out the inside here. I'm going to take a little bit of this silicone, okay, on my finger, and just where the O-rings would contact the inside of the barrel, you could even line it up there, okay, so our O-ring is going to be right there. I just put a little silicone around the inside wherever those two O-rings would be contacting on the inside, and that just makes it slide back and forth a little easy, you know. And this isn't just regular grease, it's silicone. It's food safe, it's made for plumbing. It doesn't work. You're not going to want to use like automotive grease. So this just kind of slides back on. This just slips right down there. Next we're going to put in the new ball. You'll find a notch on the side, and then there's a little nub sitting in the ball. The notch goes in the nub, and that aligns it so that it's in there straight. Then the notch goes in the nub. Then this has a little nub on the side here, and that fits in on there's a little notch in the side and that nub, but the rubber cap goes underneath, so you can put the cap on first and kind of tuck it in there, okay? And the springs from those seats are going to be pushing up while you're pushing down with this stuff. So that's why it pops up. But basically that's how it goes on. Next we're going to screw our cap back on. But again, I like to clean up a little bit as we're putting it together, because I told you this stuff's hard to reach once it's in there. Now, I won't put any silicone on the ball because sometimes it gets too flippy floppy. You do want a little resistance. So we're pushing down, we're making sure that notch is in there, okay? And then this guy just kind of screws right on there. Everything will just line right up. And again, because this was hand tight when we took it off, you can just probably get away with doing it hand tight. Or you could put the channel locks on it and just give it like another little bit. Some of the rebuild kits come with this tool. The hex it could help you get this off, okay, because it fits in there. But this end is actually for adjusting this top screw, which will give you the resistance on the handle. And I can feel this handle is just fine. So, alright, so that's basically it. What we're going to do now is put this handle on. We're going to go turn the water back on under the sink. Okay, we're going to check for leaks around the bottom, around the top. We're going to flush out the lines, and we're going to put our aerator back on or put a new aerator in there. And that's basically the job. So let me get under the sink and turn this, this water on. Okay, so I've turned the water on under the sink. Now I want you to watch the water that comes out here, because it's probably going to come out all black and stuff for like a second, and that's going to be all the debris in the line. I'm going to push it the cold angle first and then the hot angle. It was a little brown and stuff. Let's try the hot. Yeah, just for like a half a second you saw that black stuff. So we're rinsing the line here. We're checking around the bottom for any leaks and stuff. So we're going to dry this up. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Let's check our diverter. Okay, so all the water almost shuts off. It all comes out of spray. That means the diverter's good. This looks just fine. We're just checking for leaks now and stuff like that. Okay, we're going to put our aerator back on. And just make sure that's snug, because if it's not, water will kind of shoot out. Alright, great. There's your single handle Delta. Here's all the old parts. The old ball, the old O-rings, the old diverter, the two old seats, hot and cold, the springs, and the cup, and the and that rubber thing from under the cup. Bunch of stuff in that little faucet. Alright, great. So there's the single handle Delta, you know, stopping the leaks from all over the thing. It's an easy job. These Deltas are all over. You're going to find them in showers, tubs, kitchen sinks, bathroom sinks. If you know how to do this, you know, you're going to look great for whoever you're doing it for. So thanks for watching. Don't forget, sub while you're here. It's the Handyman Zone. It's all kind of handyman stuff. Hit the sub button. Don't be scared to comment, because other users read your comments, and you may indeed help someone out just with your question or comment. And rate me, you know, what do you think? I didn't curse the whole video, you gotta give me something for that. And in these Delta rebuild kits, they'll usually give you like 2 sets of springs. You'll get 2 of the cone-shaped springs and then 2 of the straight springs. It's either or. And I've done probably like 250 of these in my life, and I've never ever used a straight spring. So don't be scared if they're left over when you're done. They're extra. And also, you'll get 2 sets of washers. You'll get these tall ones and you'll get the short ones. I've never ever used the tall ones. It's always the short ones with the cone springs. I don't know if it's like a regional thing in the country or if these are like Canadian or something, but I've never, or these were like the first ones and they're too old and they're just not around it, but I've never seen those. It's always these.